Hello, everyone. Hi, welcome at the GreenTech Pitch Night. Can you hear me all right?
Yep.
We can.
Okay,
Evening.
great. Okay, so let's just wait another 10 seconds and we'll start right away.
Can't see on here, Matthew, where I can share my screen. Can't see the button for that.
There's a green button, share, in the center, in the below on the taskbar. Do you see the green button with the arrow?
No,
No?
hold on. Let me enlarge the screen. Yes, I see it now. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah?
Got it.
Okay, great.
Yep, got it.
Okay, so yes, well, welcome everyone to the Green Tech and Sustainability Pitch Night at the Startup Club. My name is Mathilde and I'm your host tonight. And I am very happy to have you all with us tonight. I'm happy to connect with all of you on LinkedIn after the call. I will be sharing my contact details in the chat in a second. And if you want to do the same and share your contact details, that would be great. So we can all network with each other. And I will also be sharing the schedule and the lineup and the link to the pitch decks of the presenting startups. Tonight we have 4 presenting startups and we will discover them in a few moments. So as I said, you can use the chat to send either private messages to the presenters, or you can also ask questions in the general chat. And if there is extra time, I will be reading out the questions. We will see. So now a few words about Startup Club. Startup Club is a one-stop shop for the global entrepreneur community. Our vision is to assist businesses in their funding rounds and growth by connecting entrepreneurs with investors, advisors, mentors in the startup ecosystem internationally. We do this through a series of pitch nights and investor networking conferences. We've been hosting over 150 events over the last 6 years, and currently we host pitch events in these following industries: EdTech, health tech, fashion, beauty and luxury, and AI. And yes, so I will be sharing also links to sign up for free tickets in the chat in a moment. So you're all welcome to join more events. So as I said, we have 4 companies tonight. I'm happy to welcome them all tonight. We have pitch number 1. It's Socket Guardian, Electrical Safety and Fire Prevention Innovation. Pitch number 2, SPACELING, creating a platform that puts users first and a global community that celebrates diversity and inclusion. Pitch number 3, EarthGrid, developing a plasma-based excavation and tunneling systems for underground infrastructure. Pitch number 4, Change Water, on a mission to develop and deploy safer, smarter, and more dignified sanitation. Yes, and we have these 4 companies, and the event should conclude around 7:30 my time, which is Central European time. I'm based in Prague, Czech Republic. Yes, so the format of the event is each presenter has 20 minutes in total to pitch and to receive the feedback from the advisors. So I will be putting a clock at the start of each pitch for 7 minutes. It's the recommended time for the pitch. And then when the bell rings, we move to the feedback part. And there will be second bell after 20 minutes. So when the second bell rings, we move on to the next presenter. So if someone goes over the 7 minutes in pitch time, then the feedback part will be reduced. So the general idea is 20 minutes per company, and then how it's divided inside pitch and feedback, it's a little bit more flexible. So yes, that's about the format and the technical aspects. We have five advisors tonight. I'm very happy to have you here. We have Gábor, Lucile, Lucretia, Quentin, and Amit on the board for the evening. So we will do a roundtable of introductions. Everyone, all the advisors will introduce themselves shortly. So let's begin, for example, with Gábor. Would you like to introduce yourself first?
Yeah, sure. Thank you very much. Can you hear me?
Yes, perfect.
Okay,
Yeah,
great,
hi.
great. Yeah, I'm Gábor from Impact Ventures. We are based in Budapest. We are based in Budapest city in Hungary. We are currently managing 3 social impact investment funds, investing in the whole region of Europe, but we have a strategic focus on the Central Eastern European region. When we invest into a company, we prefer the seed up to Series A stage companies. We have 3 main target areas. For example, it's the first one is sustainability, second one is health tech solutions, third one is implemented education. And we are managing currently 20 companies in our portfolio, and we are always discovering impactful solutions. For us, impact means that we are looking for solutions that not only have the scaling and venture potential, but also has a measurable social environmental impact. So I'm glad to be here. Thank you for the Startup Club organizing this event, and yeah, let's start the pitches. I'm here to get to know you better and also the advisors.
Thank you so much, Gábor. Great to have you at our event. Let's go to the second advisor, for example, Lucile. Would you like to introduce
Sure.
yourself? Yeah.
Sure. Thank you. Hi everyone, nice to meet you. So representing Breega tonight, and we are European investors from pre-seed to Series A. So far, the fund is 700 million, and we deploy across two strategic funds. Like one is an early stage one, and the other one is a later stage. And we've invested in a few impact companies, but this is not our like focus. Let's say we would still be generalist, and ticket size average from 500K up to 5 million. And maybe something that differentiates us is that we are all ex-entrepreneurs within the fund. So we've all been through building at some point, and we have a team of operators internally that can help our teams scale. So yeah, pleased to meet you and hear more about the projects.
Thank you, Lucile. Thank you very much. And next, let's ask Lucretia to introduce herself.
Thank you. Wonderful to be here. I'm Lucretia Chopera, based in Cape Town. I'm the Africa Deal Flow Manager, trying to increase ocean deals on the continent for Katapult Ocean. Katapult Ocean is a global fund that primarily focuses on impact investment in ocean opportunities, anything that's saving ocean, but that also extends to climate. So our mandate extends to circular resources, for example, in food systems and fisheries and seaweed farming. But a lot of our opportunities are really global. We only have 4 investments in Africa, which is why something I'm actively working to change, because obviously the impact of ocean is global and want to make sure our portfolio extends across the world. We have recently launched a fund in Asia, 75 million, but we are headquartered in Oslo, Norway. Thank you.
Thank you so much for the introduction. Okay, Quentin, would you like to go next?
Yes, thanks. Hello everyone. I'm Quentin. I'm working at Air Liquide Venture, known as Aliad. So it's the corporate venture arm of the Air Liquide Group, which is an industrial gas manufacturer. I think Fortune 500 company. And basically, we have been active for 12 years with multiple good exit and good synergy with the group. It's been since the inception that we are working also on climate tech solutions, sustainability, and green tech. So of course, that resonates, and we try to see where we can help to decarbonize our own assets, but also the one of our customers. So it could be even from alternative fuels to carbon capture or in heat management and electricity reduction and so on. And we try to bring more than just cash, being a corporate. We're present in 60 countries, so we help those portfolio companies to expand. We help them to hire also people there and to have a proper IP strategy when they have to go overseas. Happy to hear the pitches.
Great, thank you, Quentin. And our fifth advisor is Amit. Hi, Amit.
Hi, guys. Hi, good to be back again. Look, my name is Amit Grover. I'm a two-time, venture capital fund founder, both GP and LP. Now I operate a single family office with a much larger corpus than ever. What we do is we back IP. We've been in the field of IP for 22 years in 6 countries. So we are supported with a very large parent company that happens to be the 3rd largest IP strategy practice in the world, which I started in 2006. So I've been a serial entrepreneur, and now I've worn many hats, divested out of 2 venture capital funds, and now running a single family office out of London. And what we do in that office is we back IP. So what we look at is cutting edge technology in climate tech. Food security is one of them, water security is one of them, areas like gene editing, areas like epigenetics, areas like ammonia, hydrogen, and areas like that. So we partner with universities, give them research capital, co-own the IP, and then sell the IP to the world's largest companies. So we've done 17 investments, and these are not venture investments. These are large investments because you're fueling research. And we've divested 4 already. So that's a bit of my background, yeah.
Thank you so much, Amit. It's great to have you back at our event. All right. Now we can go right into the first pitch, which is Socket Guardian, and is presented by Bill McPherson. So, Bill, whenever you're ready, you can share your screen and start the presentation.
Okay. Okay, can you all see my screen?
No, not yet. No.
Right.
Try again.
Okay, let's try again.
Yeah, now it's starting.
Okay.
Now I can see the Zoom screen.
Would it appear normally here? Because I'm used to using Teams, not Zoom.
Can
you see that?
Yeah, yes, I can see your deck.
Okay, right, lovely. Hi, everyone. My name is Bill McPherson, the CEO of Socket Guardian. I suppose really I should apologise if this isn't to do with food or green or saving the planet. It's purely we're here to seek interest and investment for a significant project that we've been happy to be involved with. Basically, this all started when we were seeking to get investment into apparel and footwear recycling, but the capex was huge. So we set about making a funding vehicle, which is what I'm going to present to you today. Socket Guardian came about when we had a conversation with a chap at Gatwick Airport. They'd taken the step to remove 1,000 sockets from the passenger waiting areas through concerns about fire from cheap and counterfeit phone chargers and charging banks, etc. We said that we could make them a socket that would alleviate that problem by detecting the risk of a fire and shutting the socket off. Their response was, we've just spent $250,000 taking them out. We don't really fancy spending another $250,000 putting them back, but feel free to put something in yourself. I said, well, why would we do that? So then we went away and we developed a system that would allow us to monetize the system to make it viable, to make it safe for us to put in, and also to monitor the health of the system and to ensure that it was safe for everyone to use. So I'll just briefly go through this. The sockets have got safety features built in. They have heat sensors, And they also have the technology which is similar to what you have in your shower, the RCBO. So we have the ability to detect a misbehaving device, whether it's plugged directly into the socket or via a charging lead, etc. So laptops. This actually works for e-bikes, e-scooters, things like that. Anything that's connected, the system can detect if it's misbehaving and liable to ignite and cause a fire. Our target market is predominantly the airports through our first contact. We'd be going in there as a retail operation. So basically, we would install the equipment to retrofit all the blanked off sockets, but then we would install our master control unit and the slave units, which would be connected directly to every socket within the geofenced area. People can access the sockets using QR codes or NFC. And basically, they can either pay for an hour's usage or unlimited access. And the unlimited access works by virtue of the fact that we can detect that the phone, which we have taken note of the EMI number, we don't store any data. We don't want to store any data, whether banking or personal data. But while they're in the geofenced area, our software, our embedded software will know that while they're within the area, they can move from one part of the airport to the other. For instance, if their device isn't fully charged, they can go to the gate. If their flight is delayed, they can come back to the waiting area and re-plug into another socket, and it knows that they're a paid customer on the unlimited, and it will continue to offer them charge. I think what we're facing now is, particularly when you look at in Britain, the Ryanair have just introduced paperless boarding. So your device becomes even more important. And where people with EVs have range anxiety, the phone anxiety will become a thing. And we are well aware of that, So this is a short image of it's a rendered image of what the devices will look like. The socket, as you see there, doesn't have any switches. It will only operate via a QR code or NFC. In the center of the 3 pins, and it could be a European setup, we can modify the socket faceplate to accommodate any European or American charging point. But this is a UK, and in the center you can see the sensor. It also has USB and USB-C connectivity. These connections do not have any data connections in them, so there's no risk of any data being hacked. So they are power-only USB sockets. We also have the means to attach some wired socketry sensors to the system where it's used in a public, in a house, in a domestic setting. For instance, one of the things you can see on the left at the bottom there would be installed in a tumble dryer into the lint basket, where the risk of a fire is a very serious concern, and that would detect an overheat situation and turn the power off. It would only turn the power off to that individual socket. It doesn't turn off the ring main. So your fridge, freezer, and your video recordings are safe. It would just simply switch off the power to that individual socket. The other essential side there is a VOC detector, where it could be placed, for instance, inside a washing machine cabinet, where it will detect burning wiring just prior to a washing machine or even a fridge freezer starting to go on fire. We have a very large market opportunity, because beyond airports, we have hotels. For instance, the master control unit can be placed within the reception area, where they'll be advised there'll be a slave unit on each floor, and in turn that will be wired through to every room, to every socket in the room. Now you imagine in a hotel or in a student accommodation, someone's in the room, they go out for the evening, but they leave a cheap charger which they bought in good faith, plugged in the wall, and they go out for a meal. And while they're out, this charger decides that it's getting really hot and I'm going to set on fire and burn this room. But before that happens, our socket will detect the overheat situation. It will advise the reception that room 106 on the first floor has had an event, which they can then investigate and pull the offending item out of the wall. It could be hair curling tongs. It could be any device that was left in students particularly, if their iPhone charger goes down, they'd rather pay £7 for one off eBay than £45–50 from Apple. So they're going to buy the cheap one. That's where the danger is. I realise I'm running out of time, so I'll just flick through these remaining charts. It's, as I say, it's got multiple uses. That's a quick screen to show the kind of revenue. Gatwick were assuring us that that they were using about 30% socket usage at any one time, 17 hours a day. We started our figures based on 15% usage because there will be some pushback resentment to people having to pay. But we've also negotiated, already had positive feedback from coffee shops, etc., in the airports that they would give a discount for the production of a valid socket connection. So they could go to the coffee shop and get 5 or 10% discount on their purchases, which would in all likelihood negate or pretty much eliminate the charge they've just been presented with. So just a quick shoot on our team. They're predominantly tech. Down the bottom there you have BPS, Bowler Power. They are an installation company. They're a company that we're going to align with. They actually installed all the main power cables into Gatwick at the very beginning, so they're very well known by the airport. RDD are a company that have extremely high quality work for the production and manufacturing of electrical items. And the last one is electrical company. It's Martin Dagnall, who has designed a quick release system for us so we could change a socket in minutes without disconnecting the sockets from the mains. It's simply 2 screws, off with the old, on with the new, if the system tells us there's a fault. I'll hand over now to any questions.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Bill, for the pitch. Thank you very much. Let's move to the Q&A. Sorry, I was on mute. Let's start with Gábor. And let's hear the feedback first.
Okay, thank you, Bill. Thank you for the presentation. I think it's interesting, and I mean, we all know in many cases the struggles when some people just keep staying at the airport, blocking some sockets. My question would be, do you have any feedbacks from users, for example, from doing a questionnaire on the airport, or do you have some user interviews? What is their feedback, for example, on the pricing? And how do you compare the pricing to the power bank rental companies at the airports?
Well, yeah, the power bank companies, the ones that have the little lockers where you can put your phone in and get it charged for a 30, 60-minute period or whatever, they would be seen as our most direct competitor. The problem with that is that these are in stations, they're located in fixed locations within the airport, and you've got to hang around to recover your phone. Our charges are £1 for an hour, £1.80 unlimited. You'll get that back from a coffee and a bun. We've not had any direct approach to consumers on how they feel, although we have asked people, and everyone that we've ever asked said, "Oh, that's nothing. I'd be happy to pay that to be able to charge my device." They'd be happy to pay that to keep their child happy with the tablet while they're waiting for the flight. Anything that they could use to charge the device. When they remove those sockets, it has caused problems for and discontent from passengers who can't find anywhere. They can go to USB-C within the airport, but they're very few and far between. We intend to replace them all, increase them by placing sockets within the seating itself. So we'll make sure there's high availability.
I see. Okay, thank you. I give time for the others.
Yeah,
also.
Thank you, Gábor. Okay, let's go to Lucile.
Yeah, sure. Well, I thought some people had already their hand raised, but I can go. I was wondering about actual market needs and risk. Do you think safety is a strong enough wedge to drive a significant adoption from airports or other places versus convenience-focused alternatives?
Well, Gatwick certainly thought it was serious enough to remove all the sockets, and it's also been picked up by the CAA in America. They're also very concerned about the millions of cheap counterfeit sockets that are out there. We were recently at a presentation with Electrical Safety First, and they're very, very aware of the impact of cheap sockets, cheap chargers, and the devastation they can cause. We're working to produce the means for people in their homes to buy the socket itself without the master control unit, just simply buy the socket and have it fitted into their home and the garage so they can charge their e-bike or e-scooter without the risk of the place burning down because of an exploding battery. You know, it's a very serious issue. When you think about hotels and student accommodation, they spent hundreds of millions of pounds building these high value assets, and it's a fairly low cost retrofit to give an assurance that a guest isn't going to leave something dangerous in a room while they go out for a meal. So there is interest, strong interest from these areas.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you for your question, Lucy. And Lucretia and Amit, they have their hand raised. So who wants to go? Lucretia, maybe?
Yeah, I'll go. Thanks, Bill. Very interesting solution. And you keep talking about the security being the primary feature. And for me, the business case seems to be leaning towards like hardware, the actual unit more than the pay-as-you-go model. So I'm wondering, in your financial model, what you are modeling is, your business case. Is it more the hardware or the software? Because for airports, I can see the pay-as-you-go model, but for hotels and student residents, I just don't see students paying to charge their phone.
Oh, no, we wouldn't charge a student to use the sockets. It'd be on an installation, maintenance, and repair contract. And it'd be quite low cost, but there's an awful lot of hotels out there. So for a hotel or student accommodation building, it'd be on an installation, either rental and a maintenance repair contract agreement that we'd have with the chain.
Okay, so now your customer changes. So those are two very different customers.
Yes, two very different customers. And then you've got the B2C where we can sell the sockets through DIY stores or through other outlets. So yeah, with the airports, it is very much a consumer pay-as-you-go model. With a hotel or student accommodation, it's on rental and repair maintenance. And then there's also the B2C selling of the socket direct to consumers.
Okay, great.
Okay, thank you so much, Lucretia. Amit, you had a question as well?
Hi, Bill. Great presentation.
Thank you.
Two questions. Number one, what kind of technology validation and market validation do you have? Now, obviously, your system promises ABC, and I understand it's a real use case. But what type of use cases do you have, and to what bandwidth that helps you, number one, justify the claims that you're making on your system? That's number one question. And followed by, do you have proprietary IP and patent on this system?
Well, I can answer question two straight away. Yes, we do have patent on the system. It's not so much on the socket, because there is another company out there who developed I would say an overkill device with smoke detectors and everything else, which we just felt was too much. It just needs to detect overheat and misbehaving power. So we have IP on the master control unit and the slave that monitors the system. So we have IP on that. Can you just ask the question again first about the first one again? Sorry.
The first one being, what kind of use cases do you really have where you've validated this technology in multiple areas? You talked about airports, you talked about hotels, you talked about student accommodation or student housing. Have you tested this out extensively in each of those areas to be able to justify the claims that are coming from this technology?
No, but we do know that there is a strong need for the system, whereby with Gatwick, where they removed them, and we've offered them a solution to put them back under a safe, monitored system. Our system will be able to give us a health. We've said to Gatwick that we will give them an 80% availability at all times. their own staff will have unlimited access. They'll have their own fob, which will activate a socket to power their floor polishing machines or their electric tractors. They're very excited. They'll take us on board as a retailer. So we'll simply install the equipment and then maintain the system. We'll take the payments. Thank you very much. But beyond that, we pay Gatwick a retail commission based on our earnings.
So help me understand this. You've not implemented this anywhere as yet.
Nope. It's Gatwick are our
Thank you.
baby.
That's all the questions that I have. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Amit. And Quentin?
And maybe one on the user fund, so the last slide of your pitch deck. And do you estimate to need further funding, specifically if you want to mass produce some of that, or will you rely on a robust Asian supply chain for the manufacturing?
We're confident that once the first system goes in, I mean, Gatwick are part of a 72 airport group, and if they're happy with what we do there, we feel confident that they'll introduce us into some of their other airports globally. Then there's always Heathrow, Manchester, Beaume, etc. That's just in the UK. We feel that we'll be able to sustain the growth through earned income. We're confident we can do that because the actual hardware is very low cost because the components are all tried and tested, the NFC. Our PCBs are developed in-house. They'll be our unique technology, particularly with the embedded software. But as for the rest of it, it's all tried and tested technology that we'll be using. And so the hardware will cost maybe $250,000 to install in any one airport. But we can recoup that within a short period of time on usage. You know, we're certainly in an area where our software will develop to a point where airports want to make it, they will push notifications to you about your flight time, any delays, your gate. They want to engage with the customer. As soon as they come onto the airport, they're already onto your device. Nothing to do with us. But then you get to a situation where this phone becomes very, very important to their flight. If the flight's delayed 4 or 5 hours, you know, they need to charge. We're confident with our usage numbers up to about 30%. It could be higher. You know, people could feel that, you know, they could use these sockets to charge all the devices they've got with them. And so we feel that to start off at 15%, where there might be a bit of pushback on being charged, but once they realise that they can recoup most of that through purchases, it'll soon go back to where Gatwick were experiencing 30% usage across their network of sockets. We're putting back sockets they took out.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Quentin. And thank you, Bill, for the pitch. Yes, so we have heard like the feedback from all 5 advisors. And yeah, well done.
Thank you very much for your time,
Thank
everyone.
you. Thank you. We will now move to the second. Yeah. Yes, that was the second beep, so we're right on time. Yes, so the second presenter tonight is Michael Sperling with the company SPACELING. So hi, Michael. Whenever you're ready, you can share your screen and start the video, right?
Thanks so much, but I can't because Bill needs to release.
How do I do that? Stop share. Okay, you see that? Apologies.
Yes.
Okay, no worries. Just give me a second now. Sorry about that.
Yes, sure. Yes, you started screen sharing. Yes, I see the presentation.
Okay, great. Thank you. So thanks ever so much, Mathilda, and thank you, everyone. So Let me first start off by introducing myself. As you already know, I'm Michael Sperling, SPACELING's co-founder and CEO, and married, children, grandchildren, based here in London in the UK. I guess you can say that I'm a cross-functional and seasoned entrepreneurial leader and startup business mentor with a diverse career spanning across 4 decades, founding, funding, leading cross-sector startups and SMEs from the ground up. And my career began in dealing in high-end goods, diamonds and jewelry sector, importing, exporting across 4 continents, whilst in parallel, I managed asset portfolios encompassing properties, forex, and securities. 2003, I founded Speedbird, a London-based aviation business specializing in aircraft sales, charter brokerage. 2014-15, I joined Mugrabi Consultants, a European-based Middle Eastern single-family office with various portfolios, including property and a startup incubator, housing multiple cross-sector international startups, and which I jointly led as its group COO. For the past few years, I've been proudly spearheading SPACELING. Throughout my career, I've stealthily invested in some cross-sector startups and SMEs as an angel investor. And beyond all that, I've also enjoyed a parallel career as a commercial pilot and flight instructor, flying some of the rich and famous across Europe and the Middle East. So with your permission, I'll just get started now with the actual pitch. So as we all know, social media is a great invention. It started off as a wonderful thing, connecting people from near and far. There's no denying that it's been a real game changer in how we all interact and engage with the world around us. But over the years, a very dark and toxic side emerged. And most of us have been affected by its toxicity, either directly or indirectly affecting people near and dear to us. Having witnessed firsthand the negative impact that social media can have on its users, particularly the young and vulnerable, creating a safe and inclusive space has long been a matter very close and dear to my heart. So when the chance came up to co-found SPACELING, I saw it as a real opportunity, not only to build an exciting business, but also to, at the very least, have a real go at fixing our broken social media ecosystem and making a significant and meaningful difference to society. So does the world actually need another social media platform? Our in-depth research has shown that people simply don't feel safe on social media anymore. From toxicity to cyberbullying, hate speech and misinformation, through endless fake accounts and data privacy breaches, being online comes with countless risks of harm, both to our own well-being and to that of our loved ones. SPACELING has published actually a couple of research-based articles on its LinkedIn page, which you can find on topics of moderation and the freedom of speech, and also on the rise and spread of fake news on social media, articles with lots of reference statistics, and where, and I'm just going to share with you now, if you don't mind, a few of them with you. And basically it shows it validates the desperate need for SPACELING. So 83% of people worldwide believe harmful social media content should be restricted, while 67% often encounter hate speech online. 85% worry about the impact of fake news, and of them, 89% demand intervention with regards to fake news. So SPACELING is mission focused on making a significant positive social impact on humanity and society that's in line with its sustainable development goals, championing SDG 16+ that drives for a reduction of violence, whether physical or cyber, and that promotes inclusive and peaceful societies. SPACELING is changing and reshaping the way we all interact and engage with social media, tackling social, ethical, fairness, and online safety issues on a global scale, focusing on protecting all of its users, but in particular, the young and vulnerable, from a social media that's engulfed with toxicity. SPACELING's rejecting big tech toxic models. It's building a better world where sustainability, user well-being, and ethical tech can all go hand in hand. SPACELING is tackling all this head on with a zero tolerance policy towards toxicity, deploying only user-centric algorithms, and with its proprietary machine learning and AI-powered solution for both toxicity moderation and fact-checking, which is all then backed by a lean and well-trained human team to provide a safe and welcoming space and, crucially, improve users' well-being. SPACELING is creating an inclusive and welcoming community where everyone is valued and all voices Spaces matter, empowering its users with full control of their privacy, data, and digital experience through a plethora of privacy and data sharing user settings and a firm commitment to never ever sell their data without consent. SPACELING offers both its business and leisure users an all-in-one holistic solution, a seamless one-stop shop, if you like, for managing all their social media, networking, business communication channels, data storage, marketplace trading, and digital marketing needs. It goes even further, and in line with its ethical and fairness ethos, even offers users a share in the advertising profit pot. While SPACELING does have a conventional feed, it also introduces an innovative, visually enhanced and multi-dimensional environment, incorporating full motion 3D technology and with virtual reality capabilities to follow on later on down the line. It's a space where content isn't just something you scroll through, it's something you experience in ways unseen before. As for the market size, our total addressable market encompasses social media and digital advertising, has a market value of over $1 trillion with over 5.5 billion global internet users. The serviceable addressable market featuring the social media sector only had a market worth of around $252 billion last year in 2024, but and it had over 5.2 active users early this year. And over the past year alone, it's had a growth of around 260 million new user signups. As for the serviceable obtainable market, we're targeting the SAM, i.e. the $252 billion social media market, with a target set at a very modest 2% market penetration, i.e. around $5 billion and 100 million users, which closely aligns with our year 5 KPI projections. As for the competition, whilst there are many social media platforms around and we're all familiar with them, there are none that share SPACELING's total commitment to creating a fully inclusive and welcoming space with a zero tolerance policy towards toxicity that champions positivity over negativity, a space where users are empowered with full control of their privacy and data and digital experience. Mainstream platforms have been criticized by governments, whistleblowers, and everyday users alike for scaling back on moderation policies, data privacy breach issues, selling data without consent, deploying their negative and manipulating algorithms only to monetize human attention by driving and promoting controversial content in order to increase their aggressive ads revenue model, and doing so at whatever the cost to users' well-being. Or as Facebook whistleblower Frances Haugen put it, they put profits ahead of people. There are some platforms such as Blue Sky and Spill that do indeed share parts of our vision, but they are either too niche and therefore have a limited audience or don't offer comprehensive solutions. Whereas SPACELING provides a truly holistic and all-in-one solution for both business and leisure users, fully addressing the main everyday social media pain points. As for our business model, SPACELING is fully committed to generating high profits for its stakeholders, but unlike platforms relying mainly on ads revenue, aggressively monetizing human attention, regardless of users' well-being, SPACELING offers a robust and independently validated hybrid B2B and B2C financial model, protecting its users' well-being by introducing multiple revenue streams, including SaaS subscriptions, premium upgrades, marketplace commissions, and advertising too. However, doing so in a safe and ethical way that allows us to yield high returns, but without harming users' well-being. Now, just to summarize and visualize this pitch, here is a short video. Hi there, my name is Michael Sperling, SPACELING's co-founder and CEO. Welcome to my high-level pitch video, giving me the opportunity to introduce you to SPACELING. So what is SPACELING? Well, as per our tagline, SPACELING is your space where you belong. In a nutshell, SPACELING is social media as it should be. A safe and welcoming space focused on you, the user. An inclusive community which was born with you in mind. A space where you are in control of both your privacy and your data. We all know that social media is broken. It's been so for a long time, full of toxicity and fake news, with the major platforms deploying them manipulating algorithms only to monetize human attention and increase the aggressive ads revenue model, and doing so whatever the cost to users' well-being. But we at SPACELING are tackling this issue head on, planning to fix it once and for all, with our zero tolerance policy towards toxicity, using only user-centric algorithms and leveraging AI tech to power moderation and fact-checking, bringing social media back to the way it was always meant to be, a safe, inclusive, and welcoming space for individuals and communities to enjoy, thrive, and grow. A space where users can create posts, events, and co-blogs or engage through our multiple feeds. They can communicate via chat, email, and even video conferencing. Users can back up their data onto our cloud storage, trade on virtual real estate and digital goods, and can even promote themselves or their businesses through digital ads. SPACELING invites users to step into a dynamic and totally immersive universe that's filled with topic-related clusters of data, each of them packed with endless exciting user-created content to be explored, or as we at SPACELING call it, our Explore feature. As for our equity holding cross-functional founding team, it's made up of seasoned entrepreneurs and subject matter experts, including 3 PhD AI specialists. SPACELING champions diversity and multiculturalism, proudly featuring over 50% women and 20% ethnic minorities, a solid team that all buy into SPACELING's ethos and concept. As for traction, we have a 3D MVP with its AI black box solution, UX UI designs and AI blueprints ready for beta version, cross-jurisdictional trademarks, and a 7,000 pre-release waitlist. Our investment grade and independently validated hybrid B2B and B2C financial model is founded on conservative OPEX, MAU and ARPU figures and comprises multiple revenue streams, including SaaS subscriptions, premium upgrades, marketplace commissions, and advertising too, altogether offering realistically attainable returns. We're looking to raise $3.8 million to secure a 15-month runway. This is based on a $17 million pre-money DCF and comps independent valuation in return for 18% equity. We had a successful pre-seed round and have real skin in the game, having heavily self-funded. Thanks ever so much for your kind attention and giving me the opportunity to introduce you to our bold and ambitious venture, SPACELING. Hopefully you've enjoyed what you just heard and will be keen to join us at SPACELING on this transformative mission to disrupt the status quo, to revolutionize and indeed shape the future of social media, and through this make a real global social impact on humanity. And on that note, I'm happy to take questions.
Yeah. Thank you, Michael, for the pitch. Okay, let's start this time from the other side with Amit.
No questions, man. No questions.
No questions? All right. Let's go. I ask Quentin for his questions.
So I have a rather voluntary provocative question. So
okay, I'll do my best, Quentin. I'll do my best.
It's for you. It will probably help you because other investors may have the same. So I quitted Twitter when it has been transformed into X for this type of reason. So personally, I think your assessment is good in that way. But I've also been on like Threads or Blue Sky, and I think there is like a kind of counterintuitive thinking here. Some of those major social media platforms are in fact becoming a bit boring. If you look at LinkedIn, for instance, it's also everyone is talking about my new job, my new stuff, my new things, and praising about that. So it doesn't create the engagement that those toxic platforms, if I talk about X or even Facebook and so, can do, because you have this type of dopamine, which is driven by this dopamine loop, like reward stuff that you have. So when you say you project like revenue from 4 to more than 100 million, year 3, in the pitch deck, 170, I think. How do you do if you reject this like toxic algorithm that is typically driving the engagement and the fact that people stay, remain, and attract more people. Because Blue Sky has maybe 40 million users today, and it's a bit dying because there's not this viral stickiness, let's say. So
Okay,
how do you
so
solve that?
first of all, bonjour, and thanks for the question. And it's totally a valid question. So let me just start off by saying that Blue Sky in our metrics, chart, they're in our quadrant. We put them there because what they're trying to do, they're a totally different platform than SPACELING, but what they're trying to do is to be a healthier or better X, like you said correctly. And in no time, they've got to around the 40 million, as you've said correctly. They're totally different than us because firstly they are a microblogging platform, so it's totally different. We are gunning to be the next Meta, not the next X. So from that aspect, it's totally different. They also have very limited features. They don't have much. They've got a feed, they've got a post up to 300 characters, and that's pretty much, and chat. That's it. SPACELING, what we're talking about is a comprehensive platform that's for both business and leisure. Everything to do with communication all in one spot. But I do agree with what you're saying, that you always need to have something to get people, as you said, the stickiness, a bit of excitement. So we did a lead generation campaign earlier this year, which I mentioned earlier on. We only targeted the UK market. It was just 5 to 6 weeks, minimal budget, like seriously minimal budget, and we yielded nearly 7,000 wait list. Now, what we also found with all the communications there and everything, that people are absolutely fed up with social media, which we know, but also in particular with Meta. So we're not trying to replace X, we're trying to replace Meta. Now, I was always told that if you're starting something new, you also need to have something different. It was firstly, obviously, we have the safety issue that comes without saying, both privacy of data privacy and also the actual toxicity. But also what we have is the 3D Explore feature. Now, I didn't go into too much, but this is a full 3D, which later on will also be hopefully upgrading to virtual reality and AR, VR, which is a totally different way of experiencing content. And that will be probably the wow factor. If you like, that's the wow factor. So that, I think, answers your question. So we have both the real pains. That's not a pain. That is a feature, a fun feature, a wow factor, a new way of viewing content. But the main pains that we're trying to resolve are the safety and security.
Thank you.
Merci beaucoup.
Thank you. Who would like to go next? Lucretia, maybe?
Yeah, I'll just go quickly and say, just not a question, just a comment that it's always good to have competition. There aren't enough competitors in this space, so well done for that. And I'm just hoping that you don't grow and then, get bought by one of these platforms that you're trying to replace. That's all.
Can I just I know it wasn't a question, just in 2 words, just to say that what we're trying to be is something totally different. We also, our exit plan, yes, we said to be an exit via acquisition, yes, but it has to be with a tech that's aligned with what we believe in, and we feel very strongly about that. So, that's the whole point of what we're doing. So if we get bought by a Meta, that they change it to another Meta, what's the point? So I'm totally with you on that.
Great.
Thank you for your comment. Lucy?
Sure. No, I was just wondering if you were live in any country yet?
No, I said our wait list is a pre-release wait list. We've got the MVP, as we said, but we're waiting now just to complete the seed, and then within 4 to 5 weeks, we'll be releasing it for test, for the testing period. Our KPIs are 100,000 only in year 1 while we're building the beta version. And then for around 9 months, we'll have the beta version. Then we release that and launch properly that side. So it's at 100,000, then 250,000 by the end of seed. That's the KPI. Then 3 million will be after the Series A till at the end of year 2, and then growing from there.
And how are you thinking about just acquiring new users?
Yeah, well, as I said, first of all, we have an amazing CMO. She's a double master's with over 15 years experience, CMO. And she led our lead generation campaign, as I said, with a few £1,000s. Our acquisition costs was, I mean, the average could be between $3, $4, $5 per user. And during our lead generation campaign, during A/B testing, which, as you know yourself, I'm sure is more expensive, it worked out under $2. So we know, and that we didn't even use all our channels, shall we say? Yeah. Also, so we got influencers. We got an influencer with around 700,000 followers signed up. We have lots of angel investors have signed up to our wait list because they believe in what we're doing. So yeah.
Okay. Just hope you won't be doing marketing through Meta.
Oh, sorry, I have to address this. Our CMO, Ilaria, she's not here, unfortunately, this evening. When she said we have to do that via Meta, via Insta and everything, I just freaked out. I said, what the heck? But she said, look, that's what everyone does. You have to do it. It's the only way we're going to get out there. So there is no other way. And all platforms do each other. You know, at the beginning, there's no other way, and we had to do it. But yes, I did cringe, I have to be honest and say.
Thank you. Thank you, Lucile. Okay, Gábor, just a quick comment or question to round up.
Yeah, okay. Thank you for the presentation and for the detailness of the presentation. I think it's well prepared. I was just interested then about the MVP. So do you have some kind of Figma where we can check it? So because I would suggest to start the commercial period with a narrower focus. I think it's quite difficult to start a company with a so wide focus as for example the Meta today. So I'm interested in what's going to be included in the MVP. What features?
Okay, so the MVP. So we have the phases as follows. We have an MVP. It's got the basic social media features, not all of them, the basic ones, and it has already the 3D Explore feature also. And the feed, of course, and basic chat. That will be released about 4 to 5 weeks after seed. Then we have approximately 3 months later, give or take, will be MVP 2.0, which will just be an enhanced of that version while we're working on the beta version. Within the 9 months from seed, we will have the beta version that will already include all the social media features, including co-blogs and everything. And then that will be launched, but you won't have all the business features. You will already be able to generate revenue. It will have some revenue features, but it won't have everything. The next phase 4, will be after Series A, during year 2. So beginning of year 3, we will have pretty much the comprehensive platform. But we will be generating revenue already as of year 2. We'll be moving into the black in year 3. So that's, I think, hopefully that answers your question. And I said the 7,000, if we manage to get 7,000 signups within 5 weeks approximately, with no budget, we are very confident that we will reach the numbers that we need to, and we have various corporations, and we have a whole entire plan. Everything, Ilaria's got a very detailed plan. And to ask, yes, we have it on Figma. We actually have the MVP, and we are using it now, testing it, internally with the teams and with family and friends, so to speak, so close people. But we're just not releasing it yet until we finish the seed, which we hope to finish soon. And thank you all very much. Thanks for your time.
Thank you very much, Michael, and all the advisors for the feedback. Thank you, all the advisors. Okay, we have one more pitch for the evening. It's called Change Water, and it's presented by Diana. So Diana, whenever you're ready, you can share your screen and start the presentation.
Can you see my slides?
Yes, I can see your slides.
Great. All right. Great. So I'm Diana Youssef, founder of Change Water Labs, and our team has developed a more sustainable solution to managing human waste. So a few years back, I was working for NASA looking at how to recycle wastewater on the space station. And what I realized was that just like in space, here on Earth, plenty of places don't have great ways to get rid of sewage. In fact, 4.2 billion people, that's half of the world's population, live with no access to a safe, clean toilet, largely because they live in places with no sewage plumbing, so they can't flush. Also, 80% of human waste is dumped untreated into the environment. So why does that matter? Well, poor sanitation poisons people and the planet. It causes 80% of infectious disease and 4% of all deaths globally. Also, unmanaged sewage poisons our oceans, causing massive marine die-offs and catalyzes climate change, spewing out the worst greenhouse gases, including methane and nitrous oxide, which are 30 and 300 times worse than carbon dioxide. So the public and private sectors already spend $19 billion per year on non-sewered alternatives. That includes engineering and construction firms, transportation and military, and the portable sanitation sectors. But none of these alternatives will keep communities clean or curb climate change. The market for non-sewered toilets is only going to grow, as sewered sanitation will never be possible for billions of people. Explosive urban growth, coupled with insufficient urban infrastructure expansion and increasing water scarcity, means that 1/3 of city residents, that's 2 billion people, will have to have a non-sewer toilet. Especially in crowded communities, when flushing isn't an option, non-sewered waste either ends up overflowing on site or has to be physically collected like garbage, which is hugely costly. So during my NASA work, I had the idea for a toilet that avoids this cost and complexity by making waste literally disappear. So that's no flushing or frequent waste collection, no dumping, discharge, or pollution. The key insight is that human waste is mostly water. It's 95% water. So instead of flushing it, we can just evaporate it. The iThrone is a waterless, sewerless toilet that quickly shrinks human waste. The iThrone captures waste in bags made of a novel, breathable material that we call shrink wrap for crap. These bags quickly soak up the liquid water content from waste, and by pulling it through the membrane, convert that liquid into pure water vapor, essentially evaporating the waste, but without using heat. All that comes out of the toilet is pure molecular water vapor. Our company fully owns the IP, and we filed 2 international patents. So our toilet shrinks collected waste by 95% in just 1 day. By rapidly dehydrating the waste, the iThrone stops the microbial conversion of sewage into odor and greenhouse gases. And where operators and municipalities are looking for more sustainable waste disposal options, our dry residual waste from our toilets can be composted or converted to energy, fertilizer, or other organic outputs. So that means that the iThrone is easier and cheaper to install and service, and kinder for your nose and cleaner for the planet. The iThrone is the only toilet that gets rid of waste fast without using water or sewer hookups. It's non-polluting, doesn't use any toxic chemicals. It's low cost, low powered, and ultimately low maintenance. In fact, it's the only waste reducing toilet that makes waste literally disappear. Our waste shrinking technology can uniquely address the growing need for clean, compact sanitation in non-sewered urban areas, zero discharge septic alternatives for the 40% of people living in coastal communities, drop-in sanitation for emergencies, and waterless sanitation for dry conditions. 2 field pilots, which were paid for, one by the UK government and the other by a large Panamanian construction company, have been operating for over 2 years, serving 16,000 uses. These have proven that the iThrone shrinks waste by 97%, keeping waste 100% contained with no odors on site. They're low power enough to run 100% off grid, needing no hookup to water or sewer. They're 500 to 300 times cheaper to install than alternatives. And while comparable toilets need emptying every 1 to 2 days, the iThrone is emptied once in every 1 to 4 months. So that's 30 to 100 times cheaper to service. So in addition to making sanitation safer, more sustainable, and easier to deploy, our technology makes sanitation installers and operators more profitable and scalable. Targeting market launch in 2027, we'll sell B2B, targeting toilet installers, including engineering firms, construction companies, and urban developers who need low CapEx toilets for non-sewered installations and zero discharge alternatives to septic, as well as portable sanitation providers and waste collection services that need low maintenance toilets, low maintenance portable toilets that greatly reduce waste collection and disposal costs. We're also receiving a lot of interest from governments, municipalities, and global NGOs who are desperate for low-cost, drop-in, easy-to-deploy sanitation solutions for public, transitional, and emergency sanitation. We'll generate revenues by selling the iThrone toilets and the monthly replacements on the evaporative bags. Initially, we'll out-license the production and distribution of the toilet hardware to B2B customers that have manufacturing and installation capacity, while we produce and sell the replacement bags. That strategy allows us to launch lean, achieve rapid scale internationally, protect our key IP, and generate recurring revenue. So the iThrone delivers outsized social and environmental impact. In a year, a single iThrone will help clean up a community and reduce disease exposure for thousands of people. It will save 1,000 bathtubs of water, eliminate 24 bathtubs of sewage waste, and cut off GHG emissions equal to burning 125,000 pounds of coal. That's just a single iThrone. So demonstrating pent-up demand for our solution, we've already attracted $750,000 in paid contracts from Anheuser-Busch, the Turkish government, and the Gates Foundation, as well as $4 million in inbound interest and LOIs for 6,000 units from construction firms and housing developers, sanitation and transportation companies, as well as governments, municipalities, and NGOs. We're currently deploying up to 100 porta potty units to the city of Santa Fe for a homeless housing development. And we're partnering with developers in Hawaii, Cape Town, and Massachusetts for urban and coastal sanitation. Targeting market launch in 2027, we project break even by 2028 and sales of 64,000 units by 2031. With 50% of the revenue coming from the recurring bags and a blended gross margin of 77%, while we'd be improving the lives of up to 32 million people. We funded from concept to validated product on a combined $0.9 million in grants and 1.4 in a seed round, a pre-seed round. We're currently raising a $3 million seed round to complete the commercialization, scale up our manufacturing, and build out the sales and marketing capacity. Our team combines 80 years experience in venture investing, sales and marketing, clean tech engineering, and hardware manufacturing, all with an aim to get safe and sustainable sanitation to more people in more places at lower cost. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Diana, for the nice presentation. Let's move to the Q&A. Lucy, would you like to start?
Yeah, sure. Well, thank you for the presentation. I was just wondering, like, maybe I missed it, but how often do you need to change the bags? And what do you? Yeah, maybe go ahead.
So the bags are spec'd out to 14 to 2,800 uses. So that's about 1 to 2 months worth of 50 uses per day. But we've actually been, we had a reduced sort of efficiency of evaporation in our original calculation. So in Panama, we're actually running them up to 4 months before we have to change them out. The bag is largely compostable. So essentially, what can be done is that either the biomass in the bag that comes out can be composted or converted to energy or fertilizer, or in sort of like if it's not allowed to do that, then they would be either landfilled or incinerated.
Yeah. And what's the price of like a pack of bags?
So I think we are planning to charge up to $25 per bag, which is significantly lower than what these services are charging for emptying liquid toilets.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
Thank you. Lucretia, would you like to go next?
Yeah, again, amazing. The impact, I mean, I'm in Africa, so I know the use cases here will be massive. And I'm also excited that you're already engaging with the Bill Gates Foundation, and other people in that space. This is very much aligned to our mandate. So just a comment that we should link up and have
Sure. I dropped my email in the chat, so please get in touch, and I'll also follow up with Mathilde and get everybody's contact information.
Awesome. I also just a follow-up to Lucile's question around the bagging. That's also my concern. Just what is the feedback from the pilot around the bagging? What are the users saying? What are the possible challenges? Obviously, there is some impact on environment if we're talking about landfills already, because that's what we're trying to get away from. So what has been feedback so far?
So, so we're not expecting users initially in the first phase to be servicing the toilets. We need to sort of upgrade the technology to make it a little bit more, for lack of a better word, idiot-proof before we'd have the users be able to handle it. But the servicers, it's been a lot easier. I mean, they basically, for them, they already are. I mean, we're talking to the people in New Mexico who are, essentially going to replace porta potties with our toilets. They have to go empty those every 3 times a week. So, if we go for a number of months before we have to empty them, that already simplifies and it makes it more, it makes it safer too, because instead of it being sloshy sewage waste with sometimes toxic chemicals in the mix, we're dealing with dry, desiccated bio waste that is also stabilized because it's been dehydrated. It's much easier to handle and much less of it. And it's just so overall, I mean, you've got 95 to 97% less of it that you're having to deal with. The landfilling is not our favorite option, but really the disposal at the end of the day is dictated by either the municipality or whatever the local regulatory regime. Like in Massachusetts, you're not allowed to convert waste to value. It's just not allowed. So, you have to work on regulation for that. But if you're landfilling something that's, 3 to 5% of the volume of what it was, of months worth of sewage waste as a solid that's, contained and stabilized versus what's normally done, which is either that it's, ending up in, faulty sewage pipes, or it's getting discharged directly into the water or the ground. The environmental impact on that, as well as just the pleasantness and aesthetics of that, is just much better. I mean, we have, so essentially keeping it contained and drying it to stabilize it makes it a much more manageable, much safer waste stream to deal with. And you're not having to deal with something that actually has to get permitted for disposal of toxic chemicals.
Right. Thank you so much. Very interesting.
Thank you. Amit, would you like to go next? You had your question?
Yeah. I think, Diana, 2 questions. Number one, you've obviously used this technology on a use case that's very individual, for an individual dwelling or an individual, let's say, restroom. If you were to use the same technology more commercially, with builders on a planning scale, number one, can this technology meet the concept of economies of scale? That's something that I'd like to understand. Taking it from a single use to, let's say, implementing this in a township. Can theoretically that be done, number one? And number two, why are you trying to raise capital and manufacture these units and supply? You should be licensing this.
Okay, so to answer your first question, the first pilot that we ran was a public urban toilet, and so that's one of the use cases. So the residential use case in Panama was another use case. So we definitely are planning on having these be as public toilets or large volume usage toilets. That's what we're planning for the New Mexico pilot. The New Mexico deployment, it's going to be up to 100 units. So so these can be used as sort of high volume usage applications. And beyond just toilets, there are applications for this technology in industrial wastewater treatment to address some of the needs that cannot be addressed by current solutions. So those include recalcitrant wastewater streams that cannot be treated either with filtration or membrane bioreactors, pharmaceutical waste that contains small molecules like dyes, the brine coming out of reverse osmosis. So a lot of those, this evaporative approach would be much more efficient than a sort of separation approach, or a brewery membrane bioreactor approach. So we do have our sort of eyes on sort of expansion of a platform technology into industrial uses to sort of take your question a little bit further. But was I able to answer the first part of your question?
Yes,
around
I would obviously, you kind of answered that in a way where I would have wanted to understand other use cases that come out of this technology, not just what you're kind of doing. I understand that you have to kind of market validate a single use case. You can't do 100 at a time because it takes a lot of money. But yes, I see a huge potential, especially in the Middle East with arid climate and water being the biggest challenge, as you understand. Especially in terms of circular economy mandates that both the Saudi Arabian government and the UAE government have. Right now I'm sitting in Dubai and I live in Dubai, and I can tell you, like, compared to anywhere in the world, even compared to Europe, these guys seem to be very serious about circular economy projects, and billions are getting poured in. So that's number one. I think the industrial application of your IP into other areas could be a huge kind of mandate. And I personally would feel that since you've got strong IP, I think about licensing very, very seriously, because that helps you expand.
Let me explain so right now, while we're a small company that doesn't have endless resources to protect our IP, we're absolutely happy to out-license the hardware. So essentially the toilet, the electronics, et cetera, that's easy for us to out-license, because ultimately none of that works unless it has the code that regulates the ventilation as well as the evaporative bags. We want to be able to, but the code and the evaporative bags are the easiest things for us to distribute. Sitting here in the United States, we've already scaled up the membrane production, so it's really scaling up the manufacturing of the hardware that takes effort and outsourcing or out contracting relationships. So essentially, we think that as a small company that's still vulnerable because we don't have endless resources to defend our IP, we want to maintain the production of the IP in the United States, where we can essentially control where it goes and the quality assurance around it, because there's also a lot of trade secret know-how on how to scale up the production of the membrane without it having holes in it. Because if you have holes in it, then those bags are not they're not hygienic, right? Because they will leak waste. So for the first phase, we're going to be controlling the production and distribution of the bags, as well as the code on how to optimize the evaporation. And we absolutely want to out-license the hardware to, especially outside of the United States, where, and that's kind of what we said in our revenue model, is that essentially having construction firms and equipment manufacturers that already have established supply chains can command economies of scale on their sourcing and have the distribution and servicing channels. Absolutely makes sense for us to not be involved with that, and just to be the sort of the licensing partner on that. So it's a hybrid structure. I mean, it's a little bit like an Intel chip, where you get everybody else to build the laptop and you provide the intelligent chip. Maybe eventually in the future it might make sense, if we have a trusted partner, to have them also be distributing the membrane, but it's pretty easy to distribute the membrane from the United States.
Sure. So just hit me up, Mathilde will connect you with me, and then let's have a chat.
That sounds great. And also, I know, I mean, I assume you have background in India. There's a huge push to get better toilets in India.
Actually, I don't have any background. I was born in India.
I'm sorry.
I've spent over 35 years in New Zealand. I'm a Kiwi, so I'm from New Zealand.
But I would assume, like, if you're aware of it, like, if you're aware of it, India has a huge sort of push for better sanitation.
Yes,
so
they do.
It's a big market.
Yes.
Thank you, Amit. Okay, we have just 30 seconds left, so maybe just like a short feedback, no question, from Gábor and Quentin.
Okay, can I have a short question?
Okay.
I think it's a great solution, and I don't think I can add extras to it. Can you help me with what is the deal from an investment side? So what is the investment need? and the valuation in this round?
Okay, so we're raising 3 million on a 12 million cap safe. So yeah, I think did you need more information than that?
No, it's okay for me. And maybe just what happens with the toilet paper? So do we have to collect on a separate trash bin?
It's better if it is, but if it's not, then it just adds to the solid collection. But it's not a big deal. I mean, in a lot of places, people are used to not putting toilet paper down the sewer because a lot of national sewer infrastructure cannot handle paper. But if people throw it in, I mean, we know that it happens. We get to look at what goes in the toilet on a regular basis, so we see it. It's not a big deal.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you,
Maybe a
Gábor.
quick comment too as well.
Okay.
So I have a tendency, Diana, to like on this type of razor and blade business model when you can still send some consumable, but it's also hard to protect. So to rebound on what Amit said, you need to have a kind of lock mechanism or IP or something that will prevent copycat to arrive and just kill you there, or you will have to be able to share part of your margin with some distributors or producer or whatever. Because as a matter of fact, some of the portable toilet rental companies that you are targeting today, they make most of their margin on those service contracts. So if you say less tracking, less everything, it's hard to sell a product to someone you will eventually kill. But,
so it's actually, I think you can disaggregate for the portable sanitation. They're the manufacturers of the bathrooms and then the services and distributors. So if you'd want to partner with the right servicer who actually appreciates the reduced servicing and the sort of the better aesthetics on the bathroom. But I think we're talking about also the equipment manufacturers who essentially that's who would be manufacturing the toilet. We do have 2 patents filed internationally. My husband's a partner in a patent law firm, so he helped us with this. And so we were very pragmatic about the IP that we filed. I mean, we understand that it's got to be a combination of sort of savvy partnerships as well as good IP on the key patent that has the membrane and the toilet and the concept of evaporative sanitation protected. The majority of our independent claims were viewed as novel and protectable. So it's encouraging that we think we'll be getting the protection that we need, but we're also trying to be pragmatic about the partnerships that we make. We assume people are going to build stuff that looks like our toilet, but if they put a garbage bag inside, it's not going to work the same way. Like it's not going to have the value that they want it to have. So
thank you, Diana, and yes, please put some in Paris.
We were talking to some folks in Paris at Change Now about we'd like to get a contact to Orange actually because they have these offsite towers that they need to and I lost the contact. So if you happen to have one, I'd love a connection.
Drop me an email. I can put you in contact with Orange Venture as well. No problem.
That would be great. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you. Thank you, Diana. Thank you, everyone, for the feedback. And this was the final pitch tonight. So yes, thank you all for joining for this nice evening. I think it was really interesting. I hope you enjoyed it as well. And I want to wish everyone a good rest of the day or evening. And we will be sharing contact lists very soon, like in a day or 2. And a recording as well for those of you who missed it or who want to share it to someone else. So yeah, thanks everyone for joining, and let's keep in touch. And bye-bye. Ciao.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
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 Bye, everyone.